Check, check, check. Check, check. I think this is working.
Yay.
Okay. I think this is working. Alright, yes it is. Alright. We are back for the 11th episode of Depths of Gaming.
Greetings, comrades, and welcome.
Indeed, we have many news-like things to talk about this week.
Hmm,
Yes.
interesting. What kind of news do we have?
The
I
Binding I
think that.
Well, I will tell you. The Binding of
Ah,
Isaac
please.
developer has released a second mod pack and is teasing a new project. Edmund McMillan.
Oh,
He's the
so
guy
what
who
is he cooking
made.
for us?
Huh?
He's the guy who did what?
Gish.
Oh,
He also did. Well, he recently did Binding of Isaac, but he also did Super Meat Boy.
oh. I have Binding of Isaac on my wish list, and Super Meat Boy I played a little bit. It's a very fun game. I just in his games there's just so much blood and gore and babies for some reason, fetuses.
Well, that's because in the Newgrounds days, uh, it, if you're like me and spent you and was raised by Newgrounds.com,
Hmm.
you know him as the guy who made the videos about what to do with dead babies,
I see.
and he also made a few other games. I think he's the guy who. I think he also made the game where you have to use your vomit to solve puzzles.
Really?
Yeah, there.
The.
Hold on. Now I have to actually look that up. It sounds like something he would make. Yeah, Spewer. You're a little critter in a like test tube environment, and you have to use your vomit to get around.
I see. Yeah, I remember that. That was a very fun platformer.
Yeah. Uh, he is. Yeah, he's been around for a while, and it doesn't really say too much about this new project that he's working on. Just that it's gonna be hard, super hard. He always makes hard games. He
Oh,
he
there's a
likes.
challenge in that.
Yeah, he
Yeah, and
likes making
satisfaction.
games that will actually that you have to work to beat.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting. His games also have a lot of secrets in them. I know
Mm-hmm.
that definitely Super Meat Boy had that, and Binding of Isaac. Speaking of which, he made this like wild hunt type of game tied to the Binding of Isaac, and apparently bones were broken, and it was incredibly hectic.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Ed's been working on games since 2001.
Hmm.
He started with a bunch of dead baby things, and then the first real game of his that I played was Carius Weltling, where he invented this whole world called the Golgothan Wasteland or whatever, and there's all these weird monsters that live there, and you're this baby Weltling, and you vomit blood at things. You'll notice a theme: babies, blood, vomiting.
Also, scat, piss, and
Well, that's
guts and murder.
newgrounds.com for you. Uh,
Yeah.
is you get used to this stuff really quickly.
Pretty much.
And later he made in that same world Clubby the Seal, where you're this. He made it around the same time as Gish in 2004, where you're a Cleo. You are a seal with a club, and you attack seal poachers.
Revenge of the Seal.
And he also made Viviparous Dumpling and Curious Serious Peachy.
Bottom line, he made a lot of games.
He made a lot of games, and I'm not. I think he retired the Golgothan Wasteland thing because all of a sudden he stopped making games for it. But actually, that's not true. He made another Clubby game in 2008. But either way, point is, he makes
new game.
He makes a lot of games. He's making a new game, and it may or may not involve babies, blood, and vomiting.
It's going to be hard, weird, and will have amazing controls.
The best controls, tremendous controls. Believe me.
Yeah, what does that mean exactly?
It's Molyneux bullshit. Like, oh, it's gonna have fantastic controls. It's gonna be beautiful. And but Molyneux, how's it's gonna play? Oh well, but it's gonna be beautiful.
We figure it out later.
Have amazing control, but how is it gonna work? Oh, but it's gonna have this feature and that feature. And now you know why Molyneux is no longer trusted by the gaming industry.
Well, amazing controls is a bit of a subjective thing.
Yes. Well,
however,
yeah.
Most of his games that he already made, like Super Meat Boy, are known for having very having at least good controls, right? I hope they're going.
His first game was extremely intuitive. It was just you moved around your character and you shot upwards to destroy shit that was coming down from the top of the screen. He's always had good controls in his games because he knew what to do.
Yeah. But to say that they're going to be amazing is a little bit vain before the game actually comes out.
Yeah. It's like, my control schemes are going to be awesome.
Oh, of course they're going to be. No one doubts that, Mr. Red.
I kind of want him to make a strategy game, but a really fucked up strategy game.
Well,
like where you're like a vampire and you're in a dungeon and you have to defend it, but all of your powers and traps are powered by blood, so you have to like kill people and splash blood on it and then they'll fire.
Listen, if you want a weird strategy game, just go play Zerg in StarCraft and imagine all the Zergs to be actually babies. Some weird mutated babies. I think there's a mod for that. And if not, there should be one.
Right. So, on to the next topic. Wild West Online has a shitty title. I mean, Wild West Online has been revealed.
And what is that Wild West Online? I'm imagining... what was he called, that actor? Will Smith in the leading role of a protagonist.
Oh, you're thinking of the Wild Wild West.
Oh, okay. So one wild too much.
Too many wilds. Yeah. The Wild
one
West
wild too far.
Just refers to the period in history where people on horses shot each other.
Okay. That could be
for
said
gold.
about any period of history after invention of gunpowder.
There were French knights that specialized in dual wielding powder pistols and riding around. It was awesome. In fact, Northern Crown has a three is a 3.5 book and it has a specialty for that. Could just be dual pistol knight.
Why
Anyway,
not?
but Wild West Online, published by DJ 12, published by someone.
I imagine that they would have to be published by someone.
Oh, I was getting my numbers confused. It's being developed by 612, which is again the names for these companies and their games are horrible. 612 Games, DJ2 developer. Okay, it's being made by 612, published by DJ2. See, you can't even get these names straight. It's horrid. Uh, I had to look down at the article for this shit. It's horrible. So,
Yes. How incredibly first world of you.
how first world of me. So, the incredibly named Wild West Online is going to launch a Kickstarter at the end of the month, and
Hmm.
they already have a core version of the game, and this is going to come in the later of the year, regardless. The Kickstarter is meant to just get funding, basically.
Yeah, most of recent Kickstarters are usually uh, the best way to do a Kickstarter is to show your publisher that there is interest in this game and people want to buy it and pay for it.
Yeah, which is why you kind of have to have a publisher if you're going to do Kickstarter anyway now, if with the
Hmm.
video game at least, because
Yeah, it at least shows
otherwise,
people. It shows people that if you get it done, get it kickstarted, the game will be made either by your company or by someone else's who has who works under the same publisher.
and it really is it turns into a form of pre-ordering at that point.
Hmm.
And something that popularly is spouted on Kickstarter is it's not a pre-ordering platform.
Hmm.
However, a lot of people still treat it like it is. But the fact that you can get a game made and improved this way, it's pretty awesome. Now, as for
Yeah.
this game, there's no gameplay footage yet. Uh,
Sad.
if you type in gameplay footage, you're just going to get a gameplay from an old, canceled game called Wild West Online Gunfighter from 2008.
That's not
And
going to be confusing at all.
again, this is what, and there's like 100 different browser game MMOs that are like the West or Wild West something or other. Like they pick the most generic, horrible title for their game. I'm not just saying that at all. It's generic. I'm saying there's like 30 other games that you can confuse this for.
Yes, let's look at another professionally made game that is also about Wild West and has actually non-generic name, Red Dead Redemption.
Correct.
You cannot confuse Red Dead Redemption for any other game.
Correct. And they have
It's
other
trademarkable.
and they have other games. Red Dead Revolver was the first one, and you couldn't confuse that because you're like, huh, what is this game about? Red Dead Revolver. Well, it's clearly a Western.
And it's clearly made in the same universe as Red Dead Redemption.
That too, Red Dead Redemption. You go, Red Dead. Well, that's kind of Westy sounding, and Redemption, that's definitely Wild Westy.
Hmm.
Like it becomes really obvious where you just say Wild West Online. Yeah, you're telling them what period it is, but you're not telling them much else. And and also, like we said, there's like 30 other games also called Wild something or other. So I'm skeptical on that.
It sounds at least like a good idea.
Now the thing is they say no gameplay. However, they have all these like stills.
Yeah, they have all screenshots of the game. Maybe these are all pre-rendered.
They're probably pre-rendered proof of concept.
Yeah, because this looks way too good for an MMO.
Oh yeah, that's not the game. But it's dry. Now the thing is, they had this really weird goal where that he was told about, where oh yeah, for $1 million we're gonna put in a raid thing where there's a train and you can defend or attack the train and there's gonna be the whole server doing it. Like, well, that's really awesome, but I really doubt you're gonna get that much money. And the thing is, if you put something as a Kickstarter goal, you're not allowed to put it in if you didn't get it kickstarted for that. Is they could you're contractually obligated.
Yes. If they do not, basically the deal with publishers is as follows: the publisher agrees to give you money in exchange for your IP. If you make your game, it's all fine and dandy. However, if you don't make your game because you are not talented enough, or you need more money than we can actually provide for you as a publisher, then the publisher is going to take your IP, give it to someone more, to someone who has more capabilities, and the
Exactly.
game will be made anyway. That, or it will end up in IP purgatory.
Which is basically why things will happen where a company will just appear out of the blue and all of a sudden they have this license and they're acting like, oh, we're so true to this license, we're fantastic with this license, this is the way the game should be.
Hmm.
And it ends up being just kind of a mockery of what the game should was the first time around.
Yeah.
Like Tropico, is that game got that IP got snatched up and then they made the same game 5 times with different types of DLC. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
And so the thing with this game is they say that there won't be grinding or levels. There's going to be crafting. And the thing is, you can have it so you can put people of all skill levels in a universe. Generally, when there are guns involved, levels don't
Well,
matter as much when you get
Necro,
shot.
are you there?
Yeah,
Necro, Necro, you're there?
yeah,
Hello,
dude, what's wrong?
hello.
Hello? Yeah, I'm sorry. Apparently, we're having testicular difficulties.
There we go. I'm back.
Oh, did you have an IP change?
Yes,
Whoops.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. He's in Poland. At certain times of the day, they go IP change. It happens.
And I'm gone again!
Are you gone again? Shit. Oh, this is one for the highlight reel. Let's have a bong rip for our fallen friend.
Well, I don't know where you went. Okay. I think my lungs have stopped burning.
Alright, so what the hell is going on here? Okay, well. Sorry. So, the main thing about.
And I have returned.
Ah!
Many apologies.
That was.
I'm really sorry about that. This time I am back for sure.
Alright, now you need to apologize to all of our viewers.
I apologize to all of you, all one of you. Actually, it's two of you. I believe we gained one more viewer.
Yeah, I think we did. I think it's more like two now.
Yay!
It's a miracle. Christmas miracle.
Yes, our viewership has doubled. No one has that kind of numbers as we do.
So the thing about Wild West Online is it's getting released about the same time as Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, the sequel still hasn't been confirmed for PC, but they're starting to realize that limiting themselves to consoles is just losing them player base. Especially because people have been releasing knockoffs on the PC of like GTA and that, so they're just hurting themselves now.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, well, they do have very popular games. If you want to make a knockoff, making knockoff of something good is a good way to go about it.
Yeah. It's the way to do it.
Yes. Also, imitation is sincerest form of flattery.
What I like the most is that the NPCs will not react to your negative reputation.
Oh, yes. That's actually quite interesting, because that means that if someone has bad reputation, players are the one who are expected to actually fix it.
Correct. Because the thing that annoys the fuck out of everyone in online worlds is they'll inevitably shoot the wrong person, and all of a sudden the town guards or turrets will just annihilate them if they get too close. That's one of the issues with Eve
Now
Online.
it's just all the assholes on the server are going to perk up and say, "Ooh, a guy with a bad reputation. Let's ruin his day."
Right. Because they haven't really discussed how it works yet, but we do know that if a player has money on their head, another player will be expected to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that translates to a more Wild Westy environment where big time sheriffs will appear, crowds of Pinkertons will appear, that sort of thing. Players will be those Pinkertons and such.
And sheriffs.
And sheriffs and deputies and conversely also vigilantes. And allowing players to live that out, I think, is the right direction.
That's true. However, I'm always iffy about PvP because in PvP, always someone has to lose, and although that is good because it makes the stakes higher, also gives much more reward if you manage to basically get out of the pickle. However, I don't know. That kind of feels like there's going to be a lot of potential for drama.
Indeed. Because there's inevitably going to be a giant clan that appears of raiders, and they're going to ride around just causing havoc.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. There's not much we can actually say before we play the game. But once we do, oh boy, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, even then, there's no gameplay yet, so you can't say much of anything.
Yeah, but eventually there's going to be. And is the game going to be free to play, or will it be like pay to play?
Oh, we just don't know.
Is there anything we know?
It's going to be on PC.
Oh, that's a good thing to know. Master Race finally getting recognized.
Alright, on to answers nobody wanted. How to handle whether other NPCs hear your characters.
Well, is it important to the plot? How do you feel as a GM?
Well, I think this is actually more complex and interesting than that. Because something that players and GMs often entirely forget is that sound travels in caverns, in caves, and it echoes out everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of monsters are able to pick up on that. Just they evolve that way.
Well, if I was living for my entire for millennia upon millennia inside a cavern, I would not only lose the ability to see, but I imagine my ability to hear would be much better.
Yeah. So that's why that begins to become such a interesting thing. And I don't know, players often just behave like other players are the only ones that can hear them unless they're directly addressing an NPC.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be advantageous at times.
There's also a lot of mechanics already built into the game. I believe that hearing depends on the distance plus your perception, right?
Well, you have a passive perception and if the sound is of a certain DC, if a low enough DC, then they just hear it. So there's already a mechanic kind of there, and if you think they might hear it, then well, roll for it, because that's what might means, is you roll for it.
Yep. Sometimes it might turn out that there are kind of creatures out there who you would think they can't really hear that well, but once you roll and they crit, yet it turns out that entire encounter changes upon that.
Yes, and that uncertainty can work out for you. They can be hostile to both parties. They could be hostile to just the enemy. Who knows? But in general, when chance is involved, you roll for it, and you try to use the mechanics that exist, if possible, to figure out the other part of it. Like, the other part of it for this is just perception and how difficult do you think it would be to hear the sound. And that number goes from 1 to 20 or 1 to 30, and if it's high enough, it's rolled for. If it's low enough, you just hear it. And you figure out passive perception from just putting your modifier up against 10. So usually you're going to hear everything of a certain volume anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. So what I would suggest, go with two different things. Mostly with your gut. If you feel like NPC should hear something, roll for it. There is everything you need to know is in the book. If there's also the rule of what was it called? A rule of fun. If it's going to make the party have fun, then sure, even disregard the roll and make the NPC hear it. If it's going to negatively affect their fun, make them don't hear it. Also disregard the rule. The most important thing about D&D, about any pen and paper, is for you and for your players to have fun. And I'm going to repeat that until the cows come home. And until the hell freezes over. Because a lot of people are forgetting that. Necro?
I hear you. I heard you in multiple dimensions. Having fun is important. Having fun is extremely important, because without fun, you cannot have mayonnaise.
What kind of mayonnaise are you eating?
Battle mayonnaise. It's red.
Oh, good.
No, but in general, when the environment is reacting, just roll. And you don't even have, and more importantly, do not declare what you're rolling. Just roll it. It freaks out your players.
Yeah, never miss a chance to freak out your players.
Never miss a chance to mess with your players. Like, there have been times where they've been like, oh yeah, I'm opening a door. Oh, okay. And I pick up a die that would be like for trap damage, and I just hold it for a moment, then I put it back down.
Sometimes you can't actually do that, especially when you're playing online.
There are other ways you can do that. Like, like when they're traveling, just always roll for a random encounter. Even if not, even if one just won't appear or it's going to be someone positive for the plot. Just make it look like you're always rolling to see if someone's going to jump your guys. Because it keeps them on their toes. All right.
Also, I've actually heard about a method that is fair. That is a lot of fun. Basically, make your characters drive the plot, and I mean like you. I more mean like your players. If you make them doubt something and ask questions, answer maybe. I don't know. What do you think? And
Well,
yeah,
Spoonie mentioned this a long time ago. Is I think the example was like an elf comes out and does something in a weird way, or actually, you know what? Fuck that entire line of thought. Let me just give an example because I can just do an example. Is you're fighting a vampire. You stab him with like a stake or like a typical anti-vampire thing, and they just shrug it off. You go, wait a second, Jim, why didn't that work? And he just looks at you and goes, that's weird, isn't it?
yes.
It's like he can't stop you from the GM cannot stop you from making an assumption. He can't do that. What he can do is make your assumption wrong.
Yep. It's actually quite interesting. It's a nice way of turning things around and making the game more interesting for your players. And I really enjoy that. It's a way to cover your ass as well, as a DM.
Indeed. I don't know. More people should use perception more.
Yeah, perception is awesome.
Yes,
There
it
is a lot
is.
of potential there.
All right. Well, we burned through our episode really, really quick.
Yes, I was actually quite surprised. We shouldn't be that ending this early.
No, well, you can blame the world of gaming news for not being that entertaining this week.
Aside from maybe the IO interactive thing, there wasn't much interesting stuff going on.
No, and I don't think it's that interesting, that newsworthy, because they kept their most valuable properties anyway.
Yeah.
They really just kind of made it sound like they were letting stuff go, but they were really just getting rid of stuff they didn't want anyway.
Which is weird, because usually when you think about publishers, their entire existence is based around sitting on IP.
Correct. Which is why it's kind of interesting, but the reality is they have so many IPs that they either don't do anything with them, or they just or they feel that for some reason the public would not accept them, or they just want to stop someone else from making that game. I don't know. But they want IPs that make them money. Hitman makes them a lot of money.
And a lot of IPs is potential money.
Yes. I think it would have been more notable if it was someone like Microsoft that's going, oh, by the way, we're giving up our awesome IPs that we're sitting on that we could make money with, but we won't.
Yeah, we have more better projects.
Yeah, we have to remake Minecraft.
Again. Or better yet, remake the Halo again.
Yeah, we have priorities, man.
We need more Halos in our life.
God, and I'm still pissed. They gave the Dungeon Keeper franchise out to like a Chinese firm, and they made this World of Warcraft style game. Only had like dungeon building as well in it. Like I would have played that game. That was awesome. And
Yeah.
fucking Civilization. There's this game, I think it's also in China, where all you have a bunch of players and you like build a city and then you attack other players that have also built a city.
Sounds interesting. Sounds like I want to play it.
Yeah,
Sounds like I'm not going to.
yeah, like I would totally play that game where it's like a MOBA style. However, there's like 50 people on each team, and people can just drop in and drop out, and they're just building a city, and they send out people and like armor and attack each other. It would be fucking awesome.
Yay.
But unfortunately, you have to be Chinese to play it.
Yeah, you have to surrender your soul to the party. Which, by the way, I hate, and I dread the time where it actually Chinese solution will come to Western civilization, because eventually they will. There is no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make their Alibaba kind of patriotism up.
Alibaba is Middle Eastern.
No. Alibaba, I believe, is a Chinese, like Best Buy kind of thing. Not Best Buy, eBay kind of thing.
Oh, that's what you're referring to. Which,
Yes.
But Alibaba is itself a Middle Eastern name.
That doesn't mean it cannot be taken by the Chinese. If China can't have something, they will make a knockoff of it.
On that note, that's
And
our
on
show.
that